Oh, fuck. Again? You're an asshole.
Think again when you're fighting the boss.
We spoke of was and when, although I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as some surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I thought you died alone a long, long time.
I see you're awake. That was quite a spell you had there. You've been awake for quite some time now. Yes, I know. You would like to know for how long now. Well, I'm afraid it's been 9 hours.
Oh, you mean I spent the whole day sleeping?
Well, it's not like you do anything during the day.
Fair enough.
Now, I must admit, that was some pretty impressive combat you demonstrated there. Now the question is, are you ready to review Metal Gear Solid 5?
Dude, please. I've been beaten, stabbed, shot, burned, buried alive, electrocuted, fallen down a waterfall. I can't die. I'm like God, because Kojima is God, and he made me. I'm like the eye-patch version of Jesus, man.
Good. You at least got Skullface, right?
What?
Skullface.
Who?
Skullface!
Skullface, you say?
What the hell? How did you do that?
Yeah. Boss never reveals his secrets. Not even to corporate.
No, just give me that.
Wait, I forgot. How do I stand up?
Press the action button.
Wait! Whoa! Most excellent!
Hi, kids! I'm Darien.
Oh! What the? Wow. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is absolutely one of the most addicting games I've ever played. It is the most immersive, like, stealth oriented game ever. And I've played pretty much like almost all stealth games. There is so much content in this game that it is literally longer than all other Metal Gear games combined. I'm not joking. On the back cover of the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, or whatever it's called, it says 60 hours of gameplay. That includes Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I'm not joking. This game you see right here has more content than all those games combined. You want to know how long I put into this game? Within the first 2 weeks? 80 hours. At least 80 hours. Probably closer to like 90 hours by now. Content is just off the fucking hook. Man. How do I begin? There's so much depth to this game. It was fucking phenomenal. Just so much to talk about. Now, I think I'm going to begin comparing this to Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Well, reversible cover. It's not how it really looks, but Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Because it was either Konami or Hideo Kojima who said when Ground Zeroes first came out that it's kind of like it gives you an example of what the Phantom Pain is going to be, or gives you like a taste of what the Phantom Pain is going to be like. And were they right on that? Yes and no. I'm not going to spoil any story, by the way, but in order to understand what's really going on in the Phantom Pain, you kind of have to play Ground Zeroes. That's kind of why I'm going to include Ground Zeroes into this review, even though it's like a year and a half old. Alright? Now, with Ground Zeroes, as you may have heard, the game's like 2 hours long, or even shorter, and then it has like 5 extra little like 15 to 20 minute long bonus episodes, well not episodes, but like bonus missions, or they have like different objectives that aren't canon to anything at all in the series. And objective wise, it is kind of like the Phantom Pain. Gameplay wise and stealth wise and control wise, the way it feels, yes, definitely like the Phantom Pain. But the thing that's missing about Ground Zero is that it lacked substance. Not only was that it had hardly any content, it was only a few hours long total, but also it lacked so many of the things that were included in the Phantom Pain that we never really got prepared for. And that's why when I played the Phantom Pain, I was just overblown by how much shit you could do, which I'll talk about in a little while. That's going to be a huge list. With Ground Zeroes, it's not open world, really. It's just a little dinky fucking base. So that it didn't really feel like there was exploration, because you just go from mission to mission from your helicopter, which is kind of what you can do in Phantom Pain, only in the Phantom Pain you can do it from the ground too. You can start missions from the ground or on your helicopter. That includes the side missions. I'll get to that in a moment, or maybe several minutes by now, from now. But anyway, there was just very little. Okay? And the only way I can really tell you the big differences between Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain is just telling you everything the Phantom Pain has to offer. Ground Zeroes was not a video game. It was a demo. And it's very hard to like get a taste of an open world game with fully open world aspects and compare it to something so tiny that it's just like almost poof, like almost like nothing, so I'm gonna have to compare the two. Well, I've already compared the two, but I'm gonna show you everything the Phantom Pain has to offer very briefly, and like a little montage of gloriness or greatness or excitement, whichever word you prefer. Epic montage of greatness. Excuse me. Alright. There is a lot of depth depth to this video game. It is so deep that it is going to take me a long time to get through all of them. So I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible. Alright? Like Arkham Knight, with its fucking problems, this video is going to be a lot similar, only the opposite. I want to praise everything about it that isn't in Ground Zeroes, more or less. Here we go. First of all, the game is open world. Everything you can do can be approached stealth and combat without having much of a penalty for it, unless you want to get S rank all missions. But to enjoy the game, you can mix stealth and combat up. It doesn't matter. It's rewarding either way. It feels equally rewarding, unlike Ground Zeroes. Customization is a huge key in this game. Once you get a legendary gunsmith, or whoever that's called, you can then customize every single aspect of every weapon that you develop, which is another thing I'm going to get to. The development items, where you can develop like everything from guns to gadgets to buddy equipment, which another thing I'm going to get to. My goodness, so much depth. So you can customize everything, literally everything. Every time you start a mission, there's a loadout, or every time you touch down on land from the helicopter, there is a loadout screen where you can equip everything you want to. You even have partners that you can bring along with you, like your horse for transportation, a dog that you later get that can be used as reconnaissance as well as stealth kills and knock people out. A sniper that you get, which I no longer have. It's a temporary ally. A sniper buddy that can provide cover fire, but can also blow your cover, making her the most useless ally. You get her from fighting her. You'll find out. And something called a D-Walker, which is a robot that you can walk into and use him to just fuck everything up. So you have these buddies with you, and you can command these buddies to go to places and recon everything out. And in the loadout screen, you can also play as different people. You can play as the guys you recruit, or guys that you capture, or whatever, even though it makes absolutely no difference in the gameplay or dialogue, because the game still thinks you are Snake, even though you are not. This is something that was obviously put in last minute. It's not a bad thing or a good thing, but it's just something that has no reason whatsoever, or whatever reasons why it's there, I have no idea. But it's still pretty funny and cool.
If anything, it just got worse. But you understood that from the start, didn't you? From the moment you opened your eyes in that hospital, you knew it wouldn't go away. Yet you've been fighting the pain and confronting your phantoms the whole time. Knowing full well the battle would never end, not till the day you die. I respect that now, more than ever. It's an honor and a privilege.
Jackal. Your mother base is like your home. You touch down every time after each mission or landing. And it's basically your area of operations. You can upgrade it, recruit more people and have them there. And there are even instances where you come back and there'll be like a bonus story cutscene, which is really cool. Other cool things about Mother Base include being able to take showers after a long bloody battle, and being able to actually spar with your soldiers. And they respect you for it too, no matter what.
Thanks for that, boss.
Thanks for that, boss. Thanks for that, boss. Thanks for that, boss.
Thank you, boss.
The game also includes the return of photon extractions and cardboard boxes. We can like go up to people and like snatch them up like giant monster vaginas. You can also like run with them and then like slide down hills and shit. It's really fun. Like, really fun. You can also send your soldiers out on dispatch missions to get more money and resources and such. And lastly, on the exclusive greatness scale, you can set the music that you find as your helicopter music when you touch down or when it picks you up. That is fucking badass. And since like most of the soundtracks are like 80s music, since the game takes place in 1984, and my favorite track that I've found so far is Take On Me by a-ha. Thank you. Finally, a game that has Take On Me. You collect these music cassette tapes by finding them. You hear them in the background of some place and you hunt them down and they're yours. For the most part.
The pipes, huh? They're strong enough. Could make for a nice shortcut.
Thank you for taking me to Kid's boss.
And now for the story of the Phantom Pain. It's great. You start off in a hospital after being nine years in a coma from an attack that you survived, technically, from Ground Zeroes. This is why I said, in order to really understand what's going on in the Phantom Pain, you have to play Ground Zeroes. Anyway, it is basically a revenge story. Really good story overall. However, the pacing of it was off simply because of the missions. Some of the story missions didn't really feel like story missions. They felt like random objectives in the story that felt more like filling than actual, like, essential to the story. Now, the main characters are Snake, who is Snake, aka Big Boss, aka Venom Snake, aka Punished Snake, I guess. And then there is Commander Miller, who is also Kazuhira Miller. And then there's, of course, we all know who Revolver Ocelot is. These are the three main characters of the game. And they're always with you, basically. They always talk to you, you know, during missions, and, you know, they're always in the story. However, with Big Boss, the main character, I feel like he didn't talk enough. Now, Kiefer Sutherland himself did a really good job, but I feel like they didn't give him enough dialogue. His character development wasn't really established until near the end of the game, and it felt kinda off. He just didn't really talk that much. He is literally a silent protagonist throughout all your play time. Whenever you're on the ground doing missions or objectives, he does not talk at all. He does not speak a single word throughout the game, outside of the cutscenes. Literally.
Hello? Hello? Earth to Snake, do you hear me?
Cypher's still out there. We have to stop him. In my opinion, it was Miller who was the heart throughout most of the game. I feel he's the one who drove most of the story, and not the one-dimensional Snake.
And they took it away.
And I also like Ocelot's role in this game too. He's usually a bad guy throughout the series, but he was so damn cool in this one.
We're not some tribal militia, so don't act like one. You will learn how a real soldier fights. You will forget everything Hollywood taught you. And if I catch you doing something else, you'll know it. Engravings give you no tactical advantage whatsoever. There was some fancy shooting. Pretty good.
And also, what's up with the main antagonist, Skullface? I mean, he's not a bad antagonist, but he's just so annoying. It just makes you want to punch him in the face, but it's just weird, and it seems like cliched almost.
It's man's thirst for revenge that drives the times. Just as you live because of me, he lives because of you.
English or not English? That is the question. So what, does that make you like some sort of fucking xenophobe because of what happened as you were a child? What? My parents spoke a native tongue. Do you even know what you're saying, or are you just some fucking philosophical hypocrite who spews bullshit to make yourself think you're cool to mask your insecurity about your ugliness? Anyone who doesn't speak English will be wiped off the face of the planet! Man, go fuck yourself, you know? Nobody likes you. I bet even your soldiers don't even like you. They're taking commands from a fucking retard who has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. As some fucking crazy little kid with a fucking gas mask. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Really. I understand I'm not too welcome here. I think I'll take my leave. But just so you know. No, just so you know, I have fucking hundreds of immigrant friends ready to fucking shoot your ass, you crazy bastard. What are you, what's with that mask? What are you, like the fucking Phantom of the Opera of fucking Pink Eye? What? Is that what you are? You're the Phantom of the Opera of Pink Eye, aren't you? You're Pink Eye. No! Well, get the fuck out of here, you fucking asshole. Yeah, you hate that. You hate being called an asshole, don't you? Yeah. I hate you! Yeah, you better run. Fucking dick. Concluding with the side ops, which are basically the side missions of the game, there are over 150 of them, with lots of variety. However, as you can tell, it suffers the same type of tediousness as Arkham Knight side missions, simply because they give you too many portions of the same thing. They can still remain fun though, depending on how often you change your playstyle and strategies for each of them. Now, at some point in the game, it's gonna make you think that the game is over even though it's not. So if you happen to see end credits, it's not. There are like a lot more stuff to do after it. There's just so much content. It is like almost like seemingly never ending. It feels kind of like how Skyrim felt when Skyrim first came out. And this is probably the most addicting game I've ever played since Skyrim. Now, there's one major complaint I have that I really feel they fucked up on, and no, it's not the dumbass microtransactions they included, which are optional, but there was no excuse for them to put microtransactions. But that's not what I'm dealing with here. There's a certain mission, a certain like combat focus mission that makes it so that you can't abort the mission. And if you don't have combat equipment like a giant battle suit and like rocket launchers and fucking grenades and C4 and all that nice explosive shit, you're gonna have a real fucking hard time with it. It does not let you go back at all. You either have to find some way around it, or you are lucky enough to have all that combat equipment on you when you enter the mission, or you're fucked and you have to delete your save and start a new game, because apparently that's the only way to start a new game is if you delete your fucking save, which is a terrible design choice. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with not having manual saves and just having like one save per only one playthrough that you could have on your fucking hard drive per account. What? Anyway, I'm kind of ranting on. Little rant I have with the game, but it does not let you go back, and I kind of, it's such a game breaker, or at least it was for me. I was barely able to do it with like fucking fire bombardments and like fire support for my helicopters and stuff like that. That it's something that needs to be addressed right now in this review. I don't care if I'm like spoiling something for you, because it is that game breaking. Okay, so just a heads up. Mission 45. Mission 45. Okay? Don't fucking enter it until you're ready. And I think before that mission comes, there's like a yellow text side op where it says you have to secure a certain person. Again, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but really, it's so game-breaking by fucking design. They need to patch this, along with many other bugs, like a save corruption bug. Alright? Yeah, that's just one thing I really need to get off my chest right now. That's like the only thing that like broke the game for me at one point. So yeah. And I guess another complaint, although mild because it involves doing little stuff, is that the last couple of story missions require you to do extra stuff to unlock them, which I find completely dumb. I mean, why would I have to like do like challenge missions of previous story missions that I've already done before? It's like saying if they made a Call of Duty game and in order to unlock the last mission you would have had to like play through the whole game on veteran in order to unlock that last mission. You know, it's just like, what the hell? What if you're simply not good enough? You know? So yeah, there's quite a few like really poor design choices that were made in this game. The gameplay itself is like a perfect 10, but a lot of the designs, like just like the overall accessibility of the game, feels off. And another good example, like I said, is like the pacing of the story. The story itself is great, but the pacing of it just felt slow. It was too slow. It felt like there were too many filler moments that felt not too important with what's going on really in the story. So, all in all, if you compare it to like the rest of the Metal Gear series, gameplay-wise, it is the best one yet. Well, I should say ever, because this is the last Metal Gear Solid. Unfortunately, because there's like, knowing that there's only one open world Metal Gear Solid game is kind of sad. I wish Hideo Kojima could make more. Unfortunately, he left Konami, and now Konami's future, in my personal opinion, I think they're gonna be fucked. They're not doing so well at all, except for Metal Gear Solid, of course. So, yeah. But anyway, enough about Konami. This was one of the. It was just such a really satisfying experience in the action adventure genre, in the open world subgenre, I should say, in the stealth, the stealth department, everything gameplay wise felt top notch. I feel like Metal Gear Solid 5 is more of a video game than any other Metal Gear Solid because they focus more on gameplay and less on story, which I agree that games should be like that. There should always be like a good ratio of gameplay to story. Uh, a game should always have like at least 80% of like at least 80+% of it to be story, and then the other 20% to be like cutscenes, at least. Uh, and a good example of that not being the case would be Metal Gear Solid 4, where like roughly half of the fucking game is like cutscenes. So, you know, I'm just glad that he actually he actually concluded with a game that really felt like a time-consuming video game. Something that you could like really sink your teeth into for weeks and weeks and not get tired of. Besides the side ops that can get repetitive, but I got through them without no real problems, because the strategy of me going through those objectives felt the same, not the same, completely different. Looks like I'm dyslexic too. That's okay. But yeah, it is a fucking fantastic video game. I mean, even if you're not a fan of Metal Gear Solid, which I'm not a big fan of Metal Gear Solid, but I loved Metal Gear Solid 5. And with that, I'm going to give my final score of it a very high 9 out of 10. Now, Konami, if you patch a lot of these things, if you patch a lot of the design issues and some of the game-breaking bugs, especially the one that can cause a save corruption, I will definitely update it. I will definitely update this in my playlist as a 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, and the reason why I wouldn't give it a 10 is probably because the pacing of the story just fell off, and usually in terms of Metal Gear Solid, fans like a good story to be immersed in. This, not so much because of the pacing, but yeah, enough about that. That was a fucking brilliant game. It may not have been a perfect game by any means, but like, it really was kind of like a one-of-a-kind video game. Name one other game that's like open world stealth. I mean, there are series that kind of implied it a little bit, like Far Cry, but not actually like make a full open world espionage game. This is a one-of-a-kind experience that I will never forget. So anyway, yeah, that's my Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain review. Fucking great game. Really great game. I highly suggest you get it as soon as you can. Now, I know it came on PS3 and Xbox 360 for $50, but I heard the frame rate was a little like choppy because you could hardly stand the game on those older two consoles. But if you don't have the option to get them on PS4 or Xbox One, then yeah, you can get them on PS3 and 360. I suppose they're not that bad on those systems. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think of the game for those of you who have played it. If any of you have any questions, comment down below and I can answer them for you. Alright, coming up next on my channel, not that much, unfortunately. Not until Fallout 4 comes out. I was thinking about kind of like re-releasing my really old videos, my 2012 and 2013 videos, because a few people have requested that I the comments, enable the comments, and I could do that, but I just don't have the time. I feel like instead of enabling the comments on all my older videos, I just kind of like re-release them in like a montage, like I kind of listed with the seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just release them in like 5 big videos. Hopefully that'll be good enough. So I might do that. Some channel montages. more video game topics along the way, probably most likely throughout October. Who knows? I'll keep you informed. Maybe a possible Tales from the Borderlands review. And yeah, stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching.
The Gamer Gods!
Alternate ending to the intro.
Oh, fuck. Again? You're an asshole.
Think again when you're fighting the boss. Uh-oh.